a quick interview with the Rubik extraordinaire, I believe, who's going to be joining us on the line. Cr1t, sir, you're done, right? You're never playing this again. I hope you know that, right? I hope you know that's your last Rubik performance.
Yeah, I heard you guys gassing me up a little bit in the pre-interview here, but I think I had honestly a pretty easy game because of my core players, so I think there's a lot of credit there as well.
So who would you... let's talk about this actually, because you guys were playing with this Magnus lane, right? And this is the second time that we've seen you and Saberlight being able to defeat a Lina lane. Talk to us about this, because this is not something that we see generally speaking. Even when Lina is losing, it's not that much in the laning phase. What is it that you and him are doing differently that allows you to have these dominant lanes?
I'm not sure what we're doing differently. I think everyone has a lot of ideas about Lina and like how strong she is. For me personally, I don't value her super highly. I think she's like, for my role, she's very easy to deal with because she's so squishy. So I think it's just a hero that if you don't really attend to her, like she will just get too much farm fast. And I think that's why so many teams are successful with her. But I think we have a good idea about how to deal with her, and on lane as well, me and Saber have a good idea about how to kill her. That
certainly makes sense. Talk to us about something as well. Given how, let's be honest, stompy the region has been in your favor for the last while or so, what's your preparation process like when you're going up against the NA teams? We know that you're scrimming a lot against the European teams. Is there a difference in how you prepare for the individual NA teams as well?
For sure. I think we definitely, towards the last couple of series, after the first ones had been pretty easy, honestly. I think we didn't do enough prep for B8, for example. I think we were slacking maybe a little bit, and it showed as well in the game that we almost, I mean, we probably could have lost to them. I think now in this game, in this series towards Nouns, I think we showed them a lot more respect, and we did the proper prep that we would do for a team that deserves it. So I think that will also happen against TSM, and then I think we're confirmed to go to the major now. So when we go to the major, it'll just the opponents are just going to get harder and harder. So at this point, we're over the hard part of playing against teams that might not be like what we consider strong opponents. So yeah, it's not really a problem for us anymore, I think, to do like the proper prep.
All right, what's up, Cr1t? Congratulations on also making it into the major. I actually wanted to talk about that Rubik hero a bit more. We've been kind of highlighting the hero a couple of times, and now you just went on a 47 KDA in the hero. What do you think about Rubik, man?
I mean, Rubik is just a fun hero. I think every 4 player loves playing Rubik. A lot of mid players love to play Rubik as well. A lot of 5 players love to play Rubik recently as well. I saw Insania playing it a lot in Europe. So it's a hero that people want to play. So when the hero is also strong, it's just going to be in every game because it's like a fun hero to play. It's a hero that a lot of people have like hundreds of games on. So if the hero is even like slightly viable, it'll be in the meta.
All right. And diving into game 2 and talking more about heroes, I actually had this question more for Abed, but talking about Abed, you went for the Kunkka in game 2, which is his 11th most played in competitive. How much of a say do you think how much of a say does Abed have in his hero picks? And what kind of a game would you say he has maybe higher priority or higher value on the hero that he's playing?
I think it's definitely a balance for everyone in terms of like communicating with both Tal and Bulba and what they need from the role that we're picking for. But everyone has a say on their heroes, Abyss as well. I think Kunkka was, I don't remember whose idea it was, but usually it's like in tangent with each other. You know, so everyone's like kind of looks at the role, and then it's just what makes the most sense for the game.
All right. And one final question from me, leading into the major, basically. You guys have a pretty relaxed mood, but also a very focused mood during the regional tour. Does the team atmosphere change at LAN events? And what helps you keep up that kind of positive, focused mood when you're playing in front of the crowd, when you're playing as a team against some of the top teams in the world?
Yeah, I think that's the thing about this region for this season. I think this is kind of a bad season for NA in terms of quality, so I think it's not that hard for us to go into the majors. I think some of the other years it's been a little bit hard to know where we were at in terms of strength, and also like in terms of what the difference in quality was between NA teams and international teams. But I think after this season we have a pretty good idea about where we're at, also because we've been playing a lot of European teams. So I think we're in a good state. We know we've won a lot of games here and we haven't lost, but we also know that we haven't played teams that are like major quality.
All right, thanks.
All right, so congratulations on getting to the major. So I'm going to ask, what is the first thing you're going to do when you get to Lima, Peru?
That's a good question for you. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think probably get some tacos.
Yeah.
I heard the food there is really good, so that's the thing I've heard about Peru the most, is that the food there is crazy good. So probably get some sort of local cuisine.
All right. So the next question is going to be: you've played all over the globe now. Which region is like the most fun for you to play pubs in?
Ooh, I think the most competitive is probably Europe, but I think the most fun is SEA, because the games are always like, people are always trying. I feel like there's less griefers in SEA than there's in Europe, and it's just also like the cores try harder most of the time. So it's like for a support player, just the chance of me not having like a core that's just griefing the game is higher in C than in Europe.
All right. Last question here is for POS 4 players out there, like, what do you need to do this patch as a POS 4 to like be successful?
Oh, this patch is pretty easy. You just play some strong range 4 and you just secure the lane, and then you hope your team carries you. That's pretty much it. You don't have that much responsibility, you know? You don't have to play with Spirit or Tiny or anything anymore. It's like you don't have to initiate, so it's not too hard, to be honest.
So you don't have to go 47 and on the KDA. You know, you're just doing it for fun at this point. So I have 2 more questions for you here, Cr1t. Firstly, going into the major itself, obviously, like you've mentioned, the relative lack of competition here in NA, especially for your team, might actually prove to be a detriment going forward. So do you have any specific plans as a squad to have a boot camp perhaps, or to get closer to some of the other teams to practice with them before the major starts?
Well, I think the situation is a bit weird for everyone because we don't really know. I think we just got told like yesterday when the majors actually like when they want us to fly in. But obviously we're going to bootcamp for it. I think we were just going to be bootcamping in NA, and then the European teams I'm imagining will just be bootcamping in Europe. So we'll be playing them from here, and then that's going to it's pretty much going to be the same as it's been during the regional.
All right, that makes sense. And the final question before we let you go get back to practicing for that all-important major. Tell us a movie recommendation. What should we be watching right now? Or what are you going to watch tonight to celebrate going to the major? But in general, if someone wants to get into the mind of Cr1t, which movie should they be watching?
So I think this is probably one of my favorite movies, but just because it's snowing so much here today, I thought about it even more when you said that. I think I would watch Midnight in Paris if I had to like choose a movie like on the spot. It's like a good vibes movie. It's probably one of my favorite movies.
All right, Midnight in Paris.
Right.
You're one of your favorite movies, and honestly, you're one of our favorite 4 players, especially your Rubik. You'll know, yo, major teams, don't let this man play Rubik. Sorry, fam. Cr1t, thank you so much for your time. We'll let you get back to practicing with your team. So thank you, and we'll see you at the major.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is, of course.
I would like nothing more than to plant myself in the sunshine next to a cool stream.